All right, Saagar, what's on your radar?
Well, the media tried their damnedest to make Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg happen. They gave them oceans of airtime. They proclaimed Pete the frontrunner. They gasped at amazing Amy. They vaulted her into third place in the state of New Hampshire, where voters later said 75% made up their mind in the final days before the contest, owing it to the media. But the one thing they couldn't do is actually convince anybody in America that they're actually electable. Morning Consult's latest polling saw a huge bump for Bernie Sanders and Michael Bloomberg in the category of who has the best chance of beating Donald Trump. For Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar, well, their electability numbers only went up by a measly 2%. And that is even after the media crowned them the apparent dual winners of the New Hampshire primary. There's even worse news for them nationally. Bernie, Biden, and Bloomberg remain in the top three. Buttigieg saw literally no change in his status as number 4 whatsoever. And Amy Klobuchar went from 3% to 5%, something the media just refuses to grapple with. Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar barely have any support whatsoever in more diverse communities and in the Democratic Party writ large. Biden is kind of maybe still in the running, but for all intents and purposes, in terms of the national election, this thing is a Bernie, Bloomberg, Biden race. Now, you all know what I think is going to happen to Biden. I think he's going to crater in Nevada, possibly hang on to number 1 in South Carolina. Broadly, will not have much of a chance in Super Tuesday. Bernie has a pretty good shot right now, but I have to return again to Michael Bloomberg. Bloomberg has a sophisticated delegate strategy on Super Tuesday. It's hyper-targeted to get maximum benefit for his money. States predominantly in the South that haven't been contested by Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden, who are relying on earned media and word of mouth to get out the vote in their favor. Bloomberg has a powerful message that usurps Biden's. He can offer you a competent managing of the current system, can actually speak in complete sentences, unlike the former vice president. The powerful message of Mike can get it done for many Americans is backed by a completely corrupt system. For all of you who thought stop and frisk may take a big dent in Michael Bloom's progress with black voters, the largest black caucus in the state of Alabama endorsed him yesterday, saying, quote, "Our party needs a candidate who can go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump and take the fight to him." Bloomberg has made his money and ability to compete in every state with billions of dollars, the very centerpiece of his campaign. And the scary thing is, it's actually pretty compelling. Take a look at one of his most recent ads.
We need the Democrats in Michigan, too.
Here in Arizona, too.
And here, too, in Colorado.
And in Pennsylvania.
Wisconsin.
And Texas, too.
Rebuilding America starts today.
We need a president for all of us.
All of us.
All of us.
We need a candidate who has the strength to rival and defeat Trump.
Wherever you are, whoever you are, you matter in this process.
Asking you to believe with us.
It is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible. This is how we win.
As you heard from me before, Bloomberg is what happens when you combine people who just want to beat Trump with a deep cynicism about the American system. They believe the system is so corrupt, they should nominate a guy worth tens of billions of dollars to simply buy it for them and get rid of the problem that they see in the White House. They don't seem to understand a Bloomberg presidency would be an absolute nightmare for average, everyday Americans, that we can't afford to live under a tyranny of technocracy any longer. But you saw that ad, Crystal. It's a great ad. You know, he goes to Michigan, Wisconsin. He understands. I mean, you talked about this, about how many people internalize the message of a women can't win swing states, or, you know, people have to win only these 3 swing states. So Bloomberg, by going nationally to these strategies, especially to upper middle class and suburban black voters, he's showing, look, I went there. These people support me. He's name-checking all of the right things. He's like created this equation that exists in many of the minds of Democrats who want to just beat Trump. They're like, we got to win the swing states, and that's the only single thing that matters.
Yeah.
And so he goes out there. He's like, I can win those states. I can compete nationally. I have all the money and the resources in order to throw him out of office. That's the perfect message for these people. It taps right into the ethos of what they saw in Biden in the first place. He let them down because he literally can't speak. So, like,
I mean, I think it is important to temper all of this with the fact that in a lot of these states, he's basically on his own right now, right? So, things will tighten and things will change as other candidates go up and as the process moves forward. And also, by the way, we've never seen really this strategy of he's not even playing in the first 4 states.
Right.
So, for example, if Bernie is able to win Nevada and potentially even South Carolina, what kind of momentum does that create behind him that will be hard to counter at that point going into Super Tuesday?
It will.
Remember,
No
Super
question.
Tuesday is only a few weeks away here. It's March 3rd.
Right.
So he still has a lot of ground to make up before then. None of that is to take away from anything that you said, which I think is correct. The ads have been extremely good. He has a very good strategy. And clearly that, Mike can get it done thing is resonating not just in terms of we need competence in D.C., but also in terms of this is the guy who can get it done in terms of electability, which, as I already made the case, is ridiculous. I do think it's going to be really interesting to see him on the debate stage.
Because if he chooses to go. He hasn't said he'll go yet.
Because there was a clip of him actually getting challenged on his comments on Stop and Frisk. He didn't handle it well.
No.
Didn't have an answer. Looked, mad that he even got asked about it. His surrogates, Michael Nutter, former Philadelphia mayor, was pressed on those comments. Didn't go well for him either. So it'll be interesting to me to see what this evolves into when he actually has to take questions and get pressed on some of these
It's possible
things.
he may not even go. He may not want to go. I think the real thing to watch here is, like I said, a lot of this is hinged on a Biden implosion, which I do think is happening.
Yeah.
And so Bernie will have that concrete front runner status. He's going to have the momentum going into Super Tuesday, no question. But if it's enough of a 2-person race, that is enough. Right now, the 538 primary predictive average has the odds of a Bernie nomination exactly tied with the odds of nobody having a predominant number of delegates heading into the convention. And again, I just think, I know that there is this feeling that, the Democratic, but they're too weak to actually do it. But Michael Bloomberg is not a weak man, and he's bought a lot of these people off. And you're seeing the dividends of mayor after mayor after mayor, and the Alabama Black Caucus. That one of the most populous states of Black Americans is Alabama. Over and over again, I'm looking out at his surrogates, and I'm seeing so many people who have not a lot, but some clout in their communities, and they're throwing it all behind Mike. And I just think over the next couple of weeks, right now we're talking about $350 million just spent on TV ads. $350 million. Millions more, or actually hundreds of millions of more in terms of what he's donated to the Democratic infrastructure. That buys you something.
I think it is very unlikely that he could get a majority of the delegates at this point. Because, the momentum will have set in for Sanders. It already has. We're going to talk later about a national poll that has him opening up a 10-point lead on the field. 50% almost support with Latinos, which is just incredible and obviously incredibly important in states like Nevada, California, Texas, et cetera. However, is there a chance that he keeps Bernie from getting a majority? Absolutely. Is there a chance they try to take it from Bernie at the convention? That is absolutely a possibility. It will destroy the Democratic Party. It doesn't mean that they won't do it. The question that all of these candidates need to start getting is, if there is a candidate who has the plurality but not a majority of the delegates going into the convention,
who will you support?
Who will you support? What will you do?
Let me pose you this. Stacey Abrams, we covered it here on the show. He gave her $5 million to that organization. He becomes the only candidate that she's willing to go and speak to. Weird how that happens. What if he goes in there and he says, hey, progressive Black woman will be my vice president? That's a compelling message. She's got a lot of clout. He gave her $5 million. She has all the financial incentive in the world. The convention absolutely would be in a position where they could go. I'm just saying. I think
Bloomberg, he will do something like that.
He will do something like that. Yeah. And a lot of people at the convention will buy into it. These are not delegates who are friendly to Bernie Sanders.
Even people who right now are criticizing Bloomberg will find a way to come to terms with it if he brings in a Stacey Abrams or even alludes to
all
somebody
he needs
like
to do
that.
is give them cover, right? That's it. And then he could do it.
Yep. So. Next on Rising, the Hill's editor-in-chief, Bob Cusack, joins us for the debrief on this week's news. That is next.